Hi, welcome to Master Muse and to this working memory challenge. Why did I choose working memory? What does it even have to do with mastery or muse? Mastery music. So, working memory is that part of short-term memory that is involved very heavily in learning processes, decision-making processes, and problem-solving processes. Why? Because whenever new information gets to your short-term memory, some of that you immediately forget, but some of that you need to retain and you need to do something with it. It could be even something to do with the conversation or taking different inputs and trying to make a bigger output out of this. It's about processing information. And sometimes when it comes to learning or memorizing things, this information from working memory will be passed on to the long-term memory. So it's very, very essential to have working memory. And the good thing is you can practice. Additionally, if you want to have some great career where they test your aptitude, or you want to join Mensa and you need to test your intelligence, you will have to go through the part with working memory. Working memory test is a part of IQ testing. That's how I know about this exercise, actually, because I did attend an IQ test recently. And that's why I put this exercise together to share with you this same experience in the comfort of your home and also walk you through it later to give you some tips. Let's get started. The challenge I prepared for you today consists of two parts, and I called it Memory Challenge for Smart People because it was a part of an actual IQ test that I did. I made all these things up based on the rules that were included in the exercise in the IQ test. So it's not entirely the same, but it follows the same logic. For this exercise, you can prepare pen and paper to write down your answers later. You won't need it in the first stage. And you need some quiet space where you can focus for about 15 minutes. The exercise consists of two parts. The first part is memorizing stage. You will see some information about 15 fictional products, and you will have 7 minutes to memorize this information. Here's where you should not write or speak. Just imagine yourself in a testing room where it needs to be really quiet and use your memory only. The second stage is recalling stage. That's where you will answer 8 questions about the products, and you will have 20 seconds per question. Each question will have 5 answers that you need to pick one correct answer from. Right, I hope you are ready. So after this slide, you will see the list of products. There will be a timer of 7 minutes, and you just need to try to memorize everything as much as possible. Let's start. Congratulations! The first part is behind you. How did it go? Let me know in the comments if it was hard. Now let's go to the testing stage, the recalling stage. So this is the part where I'm gonna read the questions one by one and give you 20 seconds to recall the information from the first stage. And in the real test, by the way, these stages wouldn't be one after another. There is some break in between that you get a different tasks to engage different mental processes. It could be, for example, spatial recognition, where you have 6 different cubes and you need to select the one that fits the reference cube, where you see actually only 3 sides of that cube and not the other 3, for example. So this is something that happens during the real IQ test. I don't want to go that far, so let's get to the 8 questions. Now you can grab your pen and paper or just write down the answers somewhere so you can check them afterwards. I will read questions one by one and then give you 20 seconds to answer them. And at the end, I'm gonna go through them quickly and just tell you verbally the correct answer. I don't want to say it, I don't want to highlight it in the video because YouTube is gonna spoil it with the preview feature. So let's get started. The first question, what's the brand of the frying pan? The second question, which country is Mendor from? How much did the marmalade cost? What's the brand of the socks? The fifth one, how much does the jacket cost? Six, what product type is Corlan? Seven, how much is Andasco? Finally, which product is from Switzerland? Congratulations, this is now the second part and I'm sure you're really excited to hear the correct answers. The frying pan is C, Linor. Mendor comes from Belgium, A. Marmalade costs $16.99, B. Socks are Forlan, D. Jacket costs $14.99, C. Corlan is a scarf, C. Andasco was $12.99, E. And from Switzerland comes the jacket, D. So how many points did you have? Let me know in the comments if you want, and also give me feedback to this exercise if you liked it. By the way, now in this final part of this video, I want to tell you how I approached this exercise during the test. I already made a video about memory tricks that I'm using quite regularly to remember my speeches, for example. But during this test, I also used some tricks. Of course, the moment where I saw this table of information and under the time pressure, I was really stressed. I was panicking, and I tried to calculate that maybe working memory has just a few slots for information, like 6, 7, maybe. And here I have 15 times 4. So it's like 60 pieces of information that I need to remember if I do it one by one. So that's not gonna work. If I looked at the first 5, of course, I saw that they were all different. And this structure is also intentional, because the idea is to look beyond this visual structure to try to find some analogies and connections. And when you start looking for this, you're gonna find some rules to remember. And it's easier to remember a couple of rules, even if there are 8, than to remember 60 individual pieces of information. So there we go. You'll see first that all the products from a specific country have the same price. So this is one thing that you can remember. And you can remember the prices by going from top to bottom, or you can remember the countries in the order. So I remember the lowest price, remember the countries in the order from cheapest to the most expensive, and then remember the numbers 12, 13, 14, 16, 18 in the order. I told you also in the previous video that your brain remembers easier if you connect things that you learn, the new information, with something you know very well, like the layout of your apartment. In my case, I know very well the map of Europe. So to remember these countries, I could just visualize traveling from Austria to Luxembourg to Switzerland, through Germany to Belgium. If we focus on the left side of this exercise, we see the product categories and some names. And the novel rule that you will discover is that each country produces one type of products in a way, or like one category. For example, all kitchen utensils like a frying pan, kitchen robot, and kettle come from Belgium. So this is how you can remember easier which product type comes from different country. In case I would get a question marmalade, I would think food Germany. So this is the way you can remember that. The next step is to look at the left side of the table and look at the rules there. So we have Plinor frying pan, Tobor kitchen robot, Mendor kettle. So you see that all products from Belgium are connected to the kitchen, and they end with OR. You need to find something in your brain that will help you remember this. In my case, Lenor is a popular brand of washing liquid. So, okay, it's not exactly the kitchen utensil, but Lenor is just one letter difference. So if I imagine frying this Lenor washing liquid on the frying pan, I will remember this information. And then I can continue to the Tobor kitchen robot. And if I think about it, robot is actually Tobor spelled backwards. So that's how I can remember the name. Then I have Mendor kettle. Like, I cannot really come up with anything from this, but I happen to know that mentira in the Spanish language or some Latin language, I don't even know which one, it means lying. So I can imagine a kettle, like, from the Beauty and the Beast, who tells me some ugly lies, and this is how I will remember Mendor. Now, 7 minutes time that you have to memorize all this doesn't seem like a lot of time, but once you practice, you're gonna be able to make these connections and discover them much faster, and also memorize pieces of information much faster. In my experience, during the 7 minutes, I spent about 3 or 4 trying to figure out the rules and remember them, and I spent the last 3 trying to recall. And the things that I couldn't recall easily, for example, socks from Switzerland, I would try to create a stronger image for my brain to remember them. So I would remember that from Switzerland, the names end with LAN, like Switzerland. There is LAN in the name of Switzerland. And fur, I could imagine, like, I'm wearing rabbit socks, or like really fluffy ones. And this would help me remember the name of Furlan. That's it. That's all I have for you this week. Let me know in the comments either your score, if you want to share it, or what information was the easiest for your brain to remember, and how did you do this? Maybe you also want to challenge your friends or family with this quiz to help them reflect and practice their working memory. If you enjoyed it and would like to be notified about my next videos, just hit subscribe below. And I encourage you to also have a look at my other previous video about how to remember things faster or better. Maybe you can try this exercise again in a couple of weeks when your memory forgets all this information. Take care. See you soon.